What's going on, friends? It is time for some more ASRA Harpoon Design Cup Series racing here from Pocono tonight. Pocono Raceway, the Tricky Triangle. Man, 2.5 miles of just crazy, intense racing tonight. Right now, it's going to be trackside. We're going to go down trackside for qualifying for the Wild Willies 220. We'll talk more about that in just a second during the warm-up, but right now, we're going to get down to qualifying and check out who can get the pole for today's race. Bunch of drivers already on the track right now, looking to get their fastest lap time they can. Tell you what, excited to get this one going. Third race of the season. Man, already at the third race. Michigan last week, Pocono today. Big track to big track. Daryl Young right here going to make his qualifying effort. Bunch of guys on track as we see it. Tim Robb right now coming along turn 2. Good looking cars all over the place. We're going to cover a lot of different things today. Blaze Crawford finally able to join us. Good to see. Our newly appointed Coke Series driver. Love that. He'll be trying his luck right here. Who else on track right now? Mark Whitley. Rough season so far, but hey, a long way to go. A lot can happen in a short time. Expect him to have a better season as we go along here. Bunch of guys on track. James Thurston on the thumbnail today, looking extremely quick out of the Murphy Esport camp today. Expect him to have a good day today. Looked really quick in practice. So that'll be good right before the race. Who else is on track? Man, everyone. Nick Silver, your Daytona winner. Looking to get himself into that front row. Hey, speaking of Coke drivers, Wyatt Tinsley, by the way. Here he is. Coke Series driver right now. Subbing in for Max Brady. Paint scheme looks like it's wrong, so we'll try and refresh that in between the warm-up session. So we'll try and get that paint scheme right on our end. But man, everyone else, all kinds of just fast people. Devin Smecker on track right now, the 26 machine. Wyatt Tinsley currently on the pole right now, but obviously 2 laps, 5 minutes to decide who can get it. Better place. Looks like he'll settle for P7 right now. Drew Jewett, P2. Hagen, 3rd. Brendan Bowie up to P5 as we sit right here. Man, I'll tell you what, I can instantly see the graphical changes. iRacing had a big update today. Adam Garza right now here in P4. Big update today in iRacing. And, man, lighting changes and whatnot. All kinds of cool stuff. So, Christian Angel on track. Gonna cross the line here. See where he ends up. Right now, 16th. Looks like he'll keep there at 16th. James Thurston, P11. So there he is. Surprise, surprise, Corey Heim. Yes, that Corey Heim is today in the ASRA Cup Series, filling in for that stint 62 machine. We'll talk more about him in a bit. Trevor Zelazny on track now. Currently 14th, looking to improve on that lap. See if he can do that. Matthew Fleming right here. The 88 machine, Oasis Sim Racing. Comes around. Good stuff. Will Doe. Already Ryan Sharp. That 79 machine looking good. Out of turn 3. 23rd currently, but tries to maybe sneak up to the top. Oh, he does. P11 for Zelazny. Good stuff. So there it is, folks. Qualifying is over. Wyatt Tinsley will be the pole setter today. Normally 1 playoff point would go to him, but he's not a full-time guy. He's just a sub today. So nobody will get that playoff point, but all good. Warm-up session real quick. I do want to bring in, if he's around, Wild Willies today is the sponsor. Want to bring in real quick Marshall Harris. Where is he? I don't quite see him yet. All right, we'll wait for him. But man, a lot of good stuff today. Pocono, 5-minute warm-up session. We'll take a quick break, folks. We'll thank some sponsors. Then we'll come back and talk about Wild Willies.
They say you can't judge a book by its cover. Is that right? No cover ever evolved as the story got better. You want to know what a man's been through, where he's going? A man's history is written on his face. We are, each and every one of us, the heroes of our own stories. The pioneer, the patriot, the rebel, the underdog. Hell, we are the American way. The ones who weren't afraid to get their hands dirty and sure as hell wouldn't back down from a fight. The going gets tough. Damn it, you just get tougher. And you wear your beard proudly, like an emblem of wisdom. With a handshake that's as strong as your word, and the belief that freedom is foundational. Because a motor was never meant to just idle. Like real men, we're never meant to look like clean-cut choir boys.
All right, folks, welcome back right now to the ASRA Harpoon Design Cup Series today from Pocono. Live on race day. Big thanks for all you being here today. Right now, cannot wait to get this thing going for sure. 90 laps here in Pocono at the Tricky Triangle. Just finishing up the warm-up session. Soon we'll go green flag racing in stage 1, stage 2. 30 laps apiece. Still no sign of Marshall. Wanted to bring him in for to talk about Wild Willies, but we just watched that pretty awesome commercial. So big thanks to them for coming on board today. But yeah, no, Marshall, you here? Not here today. All right, well, you know, hey, we tried. But 14 seconds left of warm-up session. We're going to get going. Almost 40 drivers again here today as well. Chat's already popping off. I love it. Looking good. Hey, there we go. We worked out the paint scheme there for Mr. Wyatt Tinsley, pole sitter. Looking good. So right now we're going to get down to trackside and figure out, not really figure out, more so show off the grid today. Again, huge field as usual. 35 plus drivers. I actually believe today is 39th, almost 40. So awesome to see. But let's get down to it. The grid. Starting on pole, Wyatt Tinsley. You saw him earlier. Drew Jua in the number 2. John Hagan, 3rd spot. Adam Garza in 4th place. Devin Schmecker in P5. Brandon Bowie, 6th place. Corey Heim, P7. Michael Johnson, 8th. Blaze Crawford, P9. Frankie Barroso, 10th. Trevor Zelazny, right there in P11. Be there soon. Fetter Place in P12. James Thurston, 13th. Nick Silva right behind him there in P14. Tim Robb, 15th. Jacob Weist, his teammate, P16. Mark Whitley, P17. Joseph Mealy, P18. Christian Angel, 19th. Thomas Meeks in P20. Rounding out the bottom of the field, Thomas George, William Robbins, Ryan Sharp, Jackson Anderson, Scott Gasorn, Kenny Reel, Villalobos, Larson, Bednards, and Fleming. Your top 30. Rounding up the field right here, Halsey, Daryl Young, Spencer Burns, Brandon Six with the EOL from last week, a penalty from last week. They'll be serving that EOL today, so we'll watch him through the field. Will Doe, 35th. Dylan Basin, 36th. Forrester, 37th. Jacob Emery, 38th. And James Kaufman right there in 39th. So 39 drivers today in the field. And off we go. We're going to get the Wild Willies 220 underway here momentarily. And this track going to be very, very exciting to see how this can work out. I think long green flag runs are something we can definitely see today. It's just a matter of, man, when, right? When or how. It's going to be pretty wild to see what can happen in this race. I'm noticing real quick, the paint scheme on that Wyatt Tinsley machine it's a Chevy paint scheme, but it's on a Toyota. So it's gonna be a little funky right there, but it's all good. Hey, well, we can look past that today. It brings out the character, right? But real quick, race details for the race today. Race length 90 laps. Stage 1 30, stage 2 60. Split the race in thirds. Nice and easy. 75% fuel. No fast repairs, excuse me. And 3 green-white checkered finishes. So, if we need them, we'll see. Big thanks, folks, for you watching today on race day. Always a blast, man, bringing you this coverage. Pretty pumped to see how this race can get going here. Turn 1, lap 1 is going to be pretty wild. And this is the thing. I feel like the story of this race is going to be restarts. I think if we can manage the restarts, I really think we can get some long green flag runs in, right? There's no yellows for stages. So outside of, cautions or wrecks or whatnot, incidents, I just don't think we're going to be, seeing a lot of issues. Could be clean and green here for a while. But we'll find out very soon. Pace car has the lights off, so we are going to go back, not back green, but we're going to go green here in just a second. Again, Wyatt Tinsley, P1, Jua, Hagen, Garza, Smecker, your top 5. Love seeing the chat pop off, folks. Love all. Hey, we love the love, right? It's good to see. Good to see. There's your pole sitter. Tinsley, Jua. All-star cast and crew today. Corey Heim again. There he is. Rolling off in P7 in that Stint 62 machine. Future NASCAR superstar, maybe even currently superstar. He's getting there. Good to see. Here we go, though. Not going to waste any more time. Green flag is about to wave for the Wild Willies. 2:20. And we're green. And we're already wrecking into turn 1. Why am I not surprised by this? We knew turn 1, lap 1 could be interesting. Oh, we sure knew. Let's go back and take a look at what happens here. Again, this turn 1 is so wide, so crazy. You can get multiple laps. Let's go back real quick. So what kind of slowdown? It happens right around Anderson and William Robbins. So Robbins goes around here. Oh man, Tim Robb hard onto the outside wall. It's Scott Gasorin there too, right? Kind of sneaks through. Man, good job by Scott to sneak in through there. Villalobos nowhere to go, looks like, right where he was. Unfortunately, looks like that's going to be a big wreck early on. Lap 1, turn 1. Hey, I mean, that can happen. I don't know what else to say. That can happen. Let's go back a little further and see if we can watch it from when it all went down from the restart. So here we go. Robbins right here in that red machine on the outside wall there. Gonna dive down. Oh, man. Okay, it starts way up ahead. So Mealy, it looks like, on the outside. Tim Robb. I think I see Mark Whitley over there, too. What happens right there? So it's actually... Okay, Tim Robb and Mealy. So we have to kind of do some more investigating here because this is wild. So Tim Robb, where's our boy Tim Robb? Here we go. So he's 3 wide here. Okay, we see Thurston kind of check up. Oh, Whitley kind of comes across his nose here a little bit. And yeah, man, that just kind of starts it. Looks like Whitley might have been involved, obviously involved, but man, tough break here. Trying to find out where it all kind of goes down. Whitley off into the grass. I think I saw 6 as well. Down low. Yeah, Whitley saves it, maybe. Does save it. Man. Lap 1, turn 1. We talked about it, right? How crazy that can be. We saw a lot of guys come down pit road right here. Seeing Brandon 6, Kenny Reel. Bunch of drivers coming down. Fuel strategy is pretty close for these stages. It's about 27 laps, give or take, under green. Right now, these guys pitting is smart, I feel like, because they can definitely make it now on fuel to get to the end of the stage. So smart stuff right here, but definitely a couple of drivers involved. Tim Robb definitely hurt the most, I would say, which is, man, tough break for sure. Right front damage, pretty well banged up. Spencer Burns, don't see much wrong on that machine there. That paint scheme, though. Lordy. Spencer Burns Esports. He's got the Chungus on it. I love it. Okay, you know what? Okay. It's a little bit better. Chungus earns my respect. I know Anderson might have had some damage there too. Mealy definitely got hit relatively hard. But again, long race, aerodynamics though do play a pretty big role into this track especially. So, gonna be tough. Leaders coming down across the stripe right now, so choose rule is in effect. As you can see all the way back right there. You can see them all kind of choose their lane, so every restart you'll see this. Drivers choose the inside lane to pick the inside lane, or way down low by the apron to choose the inside, and right up against the wall for the outside lane, so... Good stuff. Wyatt Tinsley, though, remains the leader, obviously. We went about, I don't know, 500 feet. And then we wrecked. So it's all good. Again, right? Restarts, I personally think, will be the toughest thing. Once we see these drivers go single file, that could be it, honestly, right? There's no more other guaranteed yellows. So I really feel like if we get a time where we'll have, you know, a green flag run, we could see it end green. No guaranteed yellows. It can happen. But lap 4, first caution. We expected turn 1, lap 1 to be wild, and it was. Luckily, didn't kill the entire field, but a couple of drivers are affected, for sure. So we'll get it back going here in just a second. Re-rack it back up. Majority of the top of the field here has not changed. But we'll give it one more go here. Again, 90 laps, relatively quick race once we get going here. But here we go. Back green we go on lap 4. Watch everyone fan out here. Maybe. There they go. As they come down, huge draft. James Kaufman way off pace right there on the inside. And a good start right here. That's the start that we wanted to see. Oh boy, who's that on the inside? Is that Daryl Young? It was, man. He was way off pace right there. Looks like he's good to go now. No damage, no contact on the inside. Has some damage on the back end. Got hit pretty hard back there, but we stay green right now. Lap number 5. So far, so good. A little bit of a touch right there on the outside wall by Frankie Barroso. Got to be careful there. These drivers, so far from what I've heard, man, these cars are kind of tight on exit. Got to be really, really careful to not overdrive the car too much. Back at the field right now, mid-pack. Looking pretty dicey. Too wide still. Drew Jua way back there too. Man, he fell back a little bit in that exchange. But again, a lot of guys chose to take some fuel there. That can happen. Scott Gasor and Brandon Six right there battling each other. Coming down into turn 3, nice and flat. Watch out for that inside groove though. It's pretty loose up against that yellow line. Really have to kind of arc that corner quite a bit. Scott Gasor and Drew Jua fighting for it right now. Wyatt Tinsley still out front. And again, if you're not familiar with that name, you should be. He is a part of the Coke Series right now. Actually, we have 2 Coke Series drivers here. Blaze Crawford in here as well, currently in P6. Became a Coke driver this season, so love to see that. Been with us for a couple seasons now, but man, Wyatt Tinsley knows what's going on. So good to see some Coke talent going up against our ASRA talent. I'll tell you what, watch out for him too. Back in the field a little bit, we're seeing Landon Bednards doing his thing, 32nd right now, but I think a lot of these guys too, Emery as well. Hey, if you didn't pit right there, right, maybe save your fuel and hold on to it. This is a great track to save fuel on. The straights are so long, you can really just kind of lift and coast, especially here in turns 1 and turns 3. You can lift super early, use that draft to kind of keep that momentum going, and then down you go, you know? So that's a pretty good job. Daryl Young, James Kaufman in the back right here. Joseph Milley, banged up car right now, but getting there. Not too bad. Long way to go. Good stuff right now. Starting to kind of get single file for the most part. Blaze Crawford on the inside here, trying to get down, sneak some spots in. Some Murphy Esport drivers there on the outside. Blaze going to sneak his way into the inside here, out of turn 3. Looking really, really good. Corey Haim right now, quick update on him. There he is, that Stint 62 car. Let's do our first. Hey, you know what? Why spoil it? Let's just get right to it. In the cockpit. Let's ride on board real fast with Corey Heim here in Pocono. You can watch him. This must be a different world for Corey Heim because, hey, he's probably a sim regular, right, on iRacing. But when you compare the real world equivalent to this car on the sim here, it's got to be different, right? But maybe it's not. Maybe it's pretty similar. Right now, though, not doing too bad. Coming out of turn 3. Really, really good job so far for Corey Heim. Gonna upshift here in just a second to 5th gear. There it is. Super long straightaway, the longest straightaway in NASCAR that we go to. In a hard braking zone into turn 1. Nice and ginger on the wheel. And so far, a pretty good exit. So right now, man, Corey Heim doing a great job. Back in the field right now, 27th place, but hey, working his way up. Trying to get a feel for the car, for the competition. Looking good right now for Corey Heim. So lap 10 already in the books. Front of the pack, kind of getting a little dicey right now. We're seeing, ooh, Brendan Bowie just got door banged, I believe, by, I think that was Blaze Crawford maybe. Michael Johnson, his teammate, will come to his rescue here and give him a push into turn 1. Man, good stuff right here. Door bang, oof, Garza. Blaze Crawford fighting for it. Trying to get to that front spot. I think I just said Max Brady. It's Wyatt Tinsley today. Subbing in for him. Impressive stuff right now. All around. Devin Smecker holding onto that 5th spot. Christian Angel, top 10 so far right here. Frankie Barroso also sneaking his way to the top 10. Brandon Fetterplace not too far back either. So this group right here, I feel like, is really doing a good job holding on to it. Good stuff. Dylan Basin already up 23 spots on the race. Very, very good job. Probably didn't want to qualify back there like he wanted to, but nonetheless, here he is. Another one working his way back up to is Brandon Six. Again, got the EOL last week for a penalty right before the white flag came out. So that EOL is served in this race. Right now, though, in 19th. Helping out his teammate Thomas George on the inside. Keep in mind, too, a lot of these guys came down pit road, so they're going to have fresher fuel. They can really push the car a lot more than some of these guys up front, too. They're not going to be able to have the confidence, maybe, of getting to the end of the stage. Lead change up front. Adam Garza gets his way around Wyatt Tinsley, and now Blaze Crawford right there, too. Good looking top 10 right here. 13 laps in. We're seeing Smecker on the inside lane, trying to get pushed here by his teammate James Thurston. Too wide here works, but man, for how long? Tires will definitely wear out as the race progresses, but 13 laps, we're just about halfway in stage 1. And if you're new here, folks, hey, we don't throw out the yellow flags for stages like you see in the real world. This puppy stays green. Ooh, man, as Jua hits the wall hard there. Right out of turn 3. And I expected to see that, right? When I hear the drivers are having, issues with a tight car, especially on exit, I expect to see drivers hit the outside wall on exit. It's not going to be good, but you got to be careful, because when you hit the wall, you can bounce back and hit drivers who are right next to you. It's not a fun time. Brandon Bowie, last week's winner from Michigan, right now moving up right now in P4, 2 spots up from where he started. So holding on to a good ground right there. John Hagan not too far back. Trevor Zelazny, man, I'll tell you what, this dude absolutely has come far in this series. When he first popped onto the scene, you know, he was good, right? But I mean, man, you just see these guys put the practice in and run up against these guys. Awesome to see. Last year, won in Atlanta to make his way into the playoffs. And today doing right now P6, so fantastic stuff for him. Back at the field a little bit, a couple of drivers making their way through. BP, Brendan Fetterplace falling back a little bit right now in P15. Drew Jua in 13th, falling back to 11 spots actually, so definitely having their way. Spencer Burns, man, this dude popped onto the scene last week, and first race, won a stage, did really, really well, and here he is right now in 18th spot. I believe a lot of these guys too, Brandon Six, Fleming, right in this same area. A lot of these guys took fuel there on that lap one caution, so these guys are playing that game, trying to get to the stage end. Looks like that is the case. Further back, just to check up on these guys right here, Thomas Meeks, Kenny Reel, and Josh Larson, all in a line right there. This is all back in about 30th spot. Being conservative, not a bad move right here. Bednards, Austin Halsey. A couple of guys too, brand new to the series. Bednards and Halsey right here. And I gotta say, hey, you know what? Speed-wise, it might not be there yet, right? But I can, even though it's week 3, I can already see big improvements from these guys. It's really, really cool. Race clean, and definitely an awesome addition to this series. So looking forward to see how well they can do as the season progresses. Albert Forster, oh Lord, hits the wall on the outside. Little stage fright maybe as we pan the camera over to him, but holding on to it right here in 35th. Daryl Young, we saw him get loose off of that corner on the restart, making his way through. Not too bad. Front of the field. Still Adam Garza. Blaze Crawford. And we said last week too, Adam Garza, man, he's a guy, he probably could have won last week for sure in Michigan, but man, that win is coming. I told him at the end of the race, absolutely a driver who can win in this series. It's just a matter of when, right? Blaze Crawford the same. We know how talented he is. John Hagan, P5. Winner last year, Motegi, for the international race. Spoiler alert, by the way, international race this season will be at Le Mans. Yes, the road course. That'll be a lot of fun. It's coming up in 2 weeks, I believe, actually, so that'll be a lot of fun. This car on that track actually is pretty damn fun, so cannot wait for that. Different format, too. We'll be at a timed race and not laps, so some fun things coming in a couple weeks, but looking good so far. Single file for the most part in the top 10. Ooh, looks like Trevor Zelazny sneaks out in front here. I don't know if he had an issue right there. Hit the wall, maybe. Oh, Frankie Barroso tries to sneak in. Doesn't make it work all that well. Maybe let him in. Right here, good stuff. So everyone trying to get to the stage end. Again, lap 30 is the mark. And right now we're seeing pretty much single file racing all the way through. And this is what I was talking about, right? If we get through the restarts and the start of the race, get some green flag racing, we can really see this thing open up. Nick Silver right here. Talladega winner, excuse me. Daytona's not the opening anymore. It was, but we'll see that later on in the schedule. But Nick Silver, Talladega winner. Right now, currently in 14th spot. So not too bad. Keeping the car clean. I think that's the key to this thing too, right? Is just You know, with no stage cautions, I think the difference comes to, you know, just overall management of your race. It's not necessarily all about fuel mileage or, you know, things like that, right? It's really just about, you know, keeping your car clean. Tire management is a big one for sure, right? Keeping your car and your tires healthy for a long time. That will definitely make, oh man, Jua into the wall again, super hard. Really driving that car right now, trying to get himself back to the front. Which makes sense, right? Stage points matter. Lap 21, we're 9 laps away from stage 1. Trying what he can in that Nexus machine, number 38. But tire management, I think, this season will be key, right? In race wins and things like that do matter for playoff points, right? 5 extra playoff points, but wins aren't everything like they were last season. There's no more win and you're in. All comes down to, you know, consistency, top 10s, stage points. It's huge. Man, Drew are really out of shape right here, out of turn 3. Saw him wiggle there in the background. Not sure if handling on that car has gone away since hitting that wall a few times, but Brandon 6 looks like Jacob Weist making their way through right now. Weist kind of washes up a little bit, but keeps it going. So far, so good. Lap 22 out of a 90-lap race. Blaze Crawford, new leader, up at the front. Oh, yellow flag is out. Looks like Thomas Meeks and Josh Larson involved. 2 teammates. We saw them a second ago, really kind of racing around each other. Weren't many cars around them, I believe. We'll go back and take a look. Let's see. Yeah, so here, okay, so here's Larson and Meeks. Wonder maybe if something happened in front of them or... It's gonna happen up ahead. We're a little further back than we should have been, but we'll capture it for sure. Larson's gonna catch real here in the draft. So this is turn 1. Real pretty slow right there on exit. Hits the wall. Well, so far we're good. Oh man. Yeah, that's a tough break for Larson right there. Meeks as well. I'm not sure if Kenny came across the nose of the 55 or if Meeks came into him, but I mean, you saw it live, or not live, but you saw it there, so you be the judge. That's a tough break. But that can happen, folks. Lap 23. So this will not be the stage end. If a caution comes out within 5 laps of the normal distance of the stage, we would throw the yellow, or the yellow flag would be the stage end, but that's not the case here. So Larson, unfortunately, big damage. We'll have to repair that. Kenny Real, unfortunately, involved in that. So right now, the entire field is coming down pit road. Big implications. Oh, Christian Angel in the back right there, spun around into his pit box. Not sure if he got hit, but he is right there. Man. So everyone coming off pit road right here. There's the race off pit road. And this is interesting, right? Everyone's choosing to come down pit road now, which makes sense for after the stage. But how interesting is this? So nobody stayed out. Oh, maybe, hold on now. I believe one person might have stayed out here. Aha! A couple. Two drivers, Mark Whitley and Scott Gasorn, both stay out here to try and snag some stage points. Not a bad move, to be honest. A lot of these guys in the back here, Garza, Crawford, right, and beyond, right there, they took tires, they took the fuel. So they're going to be really good to go, you know, after this end of the stage here on lap 30. But these two, Whitley and Gasorn, going to try and stay out. See if they can score some stage points. It's a good move, honestly, right? It's going to kind of screw them in stage 2 because now they have to pit probably right after the stage, you know, is waived. But you score the points, right? And sometimes that's what you got to do to get this thing going. So not too bad. Should be choose time here as we cross the stripe, and you can see them all choosing inside or out. Looking good. Hey, look at this. Pocono Raceway in the chat. Hey, that's super cool. How's it going? Hope you're enjoying watching the virtual Pocono Raceway right now. Very cool. Very, very cool. Oh, got a word here from Marshall Harris. Had something come up. Dang. We wanted to bring in Marshall, obviously, to talk about the sponsor for today's race. I'm being told to go back to lap 21 in the dogleg by Drew Jua. He made a good save. Well, it's lap 25. I'm not going to go back to lap 21 now. This isn't the Drew Jua highlight reel on race day, sir. But hey, if you made a good save, I'll save it for later, and we'll post it on the Twitter. If it's good enough, you know? Which I'm sure it is, because you want me to check it out. But good stuff. So, lap 25. Right now, we're going to have 4 laps to go in the stage. If we get a yellow flag, that will end the stage. It'll freeze. Yellow line. What am I saying right now? The stage will end and the field will freeze. So I like this move here from Whitley and Gasorn, right? Can you get the stage points at lap 30? But if there's no caution, we stay green. Here we go. Mark Whitley, Scott Gasorn up front. Down into turn 1. Can we have a clean turn 1? Whitley leads us into it. Everyone else, I think, learned their lesson from the stage or lap 1 incident. Oh, maybe not. Ryan Sharp goes around here. Ryan Sharp, unfortunately, goes around. Got loose, it looks like. There he is. And that right there will be the stage end. Yellow flag happened within the scheduled distance, so that's it. Oh, man, he got clipped in the back there by somebody. Couldn't quite tell who that was, but we basically watched it live, unfortunately, for Ryan Sharp. Having a good run, too, so that will end the stage. And there he is. And that's why you make that call, folks, for Mark Whitley. You come down, win stage 1, just like that. Good stuff for Mark Whitley. We'll try and bring him in here in just a second into the booth. Normally we can't because it stays green, but hey, since it's yellow, maybe we'll bring him in. We'll come right back, folks. Thanks some sponsors. Stick around.
Fancy like Husky, fancy like Husky, fancy like Husky, fancy like Doggy bowl empty, Lakers pool sleeping, rug pull, cash grab, NFTs delight, rug pull, cash grab, idiot.
All right, folks, welcome back right now to the Wild Willies 220. Right now, Mark Whitley just winning stage number 1. A bunch of guys coming down pit road again, maybe faking it out. Don't know. Half the field comes down pit road, top off on fuel, and the other half looks like they're going to stay out. So, interesting stuff right now. Let's see if we can bring in Mark Whitley, actually, while we have the time. Normally, again, we can't bring in stage winners because we stay green on stages, but this time it's a little bit different. So let's try and sneak him in. Where's Mr. Mark Whitley? Here he is, Mark Whitley. Hey man, stage 1 winner. Smart move right there by staying out on the on the restart there, but or on the pit road. Man, what was the thought process there? Did you think we would get another yellow flag?
The thought process is this car, it can't pass, and I wanted track position, and I figured at worst case I could maybe hold on to get some stage points, but it worked out. Caution flew. Probably going to have to be on a different strategy than everybody else, but I'm fine with that because it's so hard to pass. You get a run on someone, go low. If you don't clear them, and they get lined up, and it's like a freight train. It's just really frustrating because you make one pass at a time, and you go make a move, and you can't make it pass, and you lose 4 at a time. So you can only pass 1 at a time at best, and you lose them 4 at a time. So it's just so, I don't know, aero dependent. These cars are too draggy, so you get side drafted, you just fall backwards, and it's frustrating. So it was just kind of a Hail Mary to get some track position, and now we're just going to be off sequence and just see what we can do, because riding back there in 20th, you couldn't, it was just like a wall in there, you couldn't go anywhere. So
all good. Hey, well, good talking to you, man. Hey, normally we can't talk to stage winners nowadays because of we stay green, but hey, yellow came out. Why not? We'll talk to you. So good luck rest of the way, man.
thank you.
There he is, Mark Whitley, stage 1 winner. Now we're going to get down to the choose rule here. Everyone making their decisions. Ooh, a bunch of shifting all over the place here. The Robbins family says, why are my comments keep getting deleted? We have no moderator, so I'm guessing either you're swearing or... I don't know. Maybe you're too excited over there. Sometimes YouTube, like, auto-moderates comments, so I'm not sure. But here we go. Stage 1 in the books. And this is the interesting thing too, right? We're going to go back green here on lap 30. So we're going to have a whole nother stage to go. Love it though. So yeah, Whitley and obviously Gasorn. Gasorn obviously scored in that too. I believe he came across 4th in that stage. So big points for him. It's a smart move, right? A caution can come out. You just never know. So right now we're going to see Whitley, Garza, Bowie, Gasorn, and Smecker, your top 5. Obviously a long way to go still. 60 laps to go in this race, but we've seen the green flag racing can happen, right? A couple little bobbles here and there of wrecks or things that can happen, but for the most part, I think we'll see a pretty good race. And so far, it's been very good, minus a couple of errors, right? But here we go. Pace car lights are off. Whitley and Garza are going to lead us off. Fresh tires for everybody else except Whitley, so this might not be going good. But he has that restart, and off we go. Everyone going to fan out here. 3, 4, 5 wide, maybe. Oh boy, Gasorn, 3 wide here on the outside lane, kind of tried to squeeze in. Thurston, oh no, 6 in the middle of it. Huge wreck coming out of turn 1. Robbins and Frankie Barroso involved. A couple of Bowie Esport drivers right now involved in this one. Got spun around. They were 4 wide there for a second on the exit. And that does normally not work. So big damage looks like on the front end of that 66. Frankie Barroso, maybe some damage. Can't quite tell from this angle. I think I see some left front damage here. Looks like that might be the case again. Restarts. Restarts, restarts, restarts. That's going to be the case today. The big storyline. Can we get through it? Let's go back real quick to that initial restart and kind of see where this unfolded, where it went wrong. So here we go. So we're going to watch on board, not on board, but we're going to watch Brandon 6 here. So he's right here on the inside lane. He's down low. Scott Gasorn, that white car comes down into the 81 of Hagen. Michael Johnson hits the back end, I think, of Thurston just a little bit, that 39 machine. But then Gasorn, I think, here sneaks up. Thurston, I think, tries to go down on the inside of Gasorn. And Thurston just comes across the nose of Michael Johnson. Brandon Bowie as well is right there. Just has nowhere to go. Comes across the nose there of his teammate Frankie. Into MJ, maybe. No, not so much. A little bit. And then around we go. Corey Heim getting through of it. Robbins as well. Maybe not huge damage, actually, from that number 66. Oh, does BP sneak through and get through that? A little bit of damage there. Tried his best to slow down. It's a tough corner to break in. And that's going to be it right there. So, damage involving the Bowie Esport drivers right now of the 66 and the 48. Barroso and 6. And this is when we're going to see a couple of guys come down pit road. Maybe. Oh, here we go. James Thurston, Johnson, Burns, Wildo. A lot of the field comes down here and does their thing. Folks, we'll come back real quick. We'll thank some sponsors. We'll get back to Green Flag Racing. All right, folks, welcome back right now to the Wild Willies 220 from Pocono Raceway. Long way to go here, just having another yellow flag, 4th caution of the day on lap 33. The storyline so far has been restarts. Pretty wild stuff so far. Every restart except one has been a caution of some sort, so gotta be careful right here. I feel like if we can get through turn 1 clean, we'll be good to go. And once these guys figure that out, I think we're going to have a good second half of this race for sure. So coming along to halfway at some point here, about 12 laps away. Right now we're going to get the green flag next time by. Pace car has the lights off, so that will be the case. Lap 60 will be the stage, and again, real quick, just to cover it, race details, 90 laps, obviously, in stage 1 we just saw on lap 30. Stage 2 will be ending on lap number 60. And again, the no fast repairs too, that's key for a lot of this, because they don't get the ability to fix their car, right? You can fix the car in the pit road, but you can't just like get another car. You can't get a free car, a quick repair. So far though, Mark Willies staying up front right here, interestingly enough, and not coming down pit road under this yellow. So interesting call here. Maybe, you know, still close on fuel if he were to come down pit road here, so maybe he wants to come down next time by if there's a yellow flag. We'll see, but we know Whitley has to pit pretty soon for fuel, whereas everyone else does not have to thus far. So here we go. Whitley brings us back to green. Can we get through stage 2 after this restart? Into turn 1. Majority of the field gets through it. Nick Silver in the middle here. Looks like the front of that damage actually on Brandon 6 bumped out. That's kind of the nice thing about that right there. It can look bad under caution, but the front nose of that machine looks pretty well fixed. He might be good to go. We'll see, and we'll wait for him. Big check up here. Kaufman really off pace. Oh man, Emery hard into the wall here. Jacob Emery really off track. Oh man, we stay green somehow. He hit the wall really hard. Try and see if I can find a... Oh man. Can I find a quick, just a super quick... Oh man, gets hit hard there by Brandon 6. Lordy. Not sure what that was about. But that was a big hit. Unless Emery was already way off pace. Couldn't quite tell there. But up front, Garza, Bowie, and Whitley up front. Whitley's tires are going to definitely fall off now. We know that he has the oldest tires out of the front pack. Christian Angel making the move here up to P6. 3 wide in the back of the field here. Halsey and Michael Johnson. Thomas Meeks able to recover after that wreck earlier involving Josh Larson. So good stuff there, able to get it back going. Meeks in the outside lane, kind of swings around. Man, good stuff right there. Passes a couple of cars were there in one corner, 2 or 3. Man, these guys in the back of the field, this is the tough part too. A lot of guys don't talk about this, and it's so hard to really understand, but it's so much tougher driving and racing in the mid-pack than it is up front, right? Because you get so much more dirty air. Everyone's just so desperate to kind of get around each other and get that position right. It's so much more difficult. But right now, everyone seems like they're making it work quite well in the back. Restart was just behind us. Everyone still has the fresh tires. And before they start evening out, they want to try and get as many spots as possible before we inevitably go single file. As we see a lead change up front, Brandon Bowie. There he is, up to the front. John Hagan in second spot, so they get around Adam Garza. So far, Whitley doing a great job holding on to a top 5. And this is the thing, right? Track position is just so key. So being off schedule here might not be the worst thing for Whitley if he can find a way to. Maybe a caution comes out. Maybe you know, he comes down at the same time. Look at these guys back in the field here. Thomas George on the inside, squeezing up to Thurston. A little tight on entry. Got to be careful there. Nick Silver on the outside too. Is 3 wide necessary, right? That's sometimes what you have to ask yourself at a track like this. Is putting myself 3 wide the smartest thing to do? And hey, maybe sometimes it is, but early on, you just never know. Scott Gasson on the outside lane here was up in the front, kind of fading off here pretty quick. Hard into the wall there from Thurston. Thomas George going around him as well. Maybe not yet, but he is trying. Couple of positions shifting here, about top 10. Jackson Anderson, who I believe was also involved in that lap 1 incident, but has made a good comeback so far. Brendan Fetterplace, Michael Johnson, again, all hovering in this top 10. 20 laps away from stage 2. Quite a bit, you know, quite a long ways to get there. As Bowie holds on to that P1 spot. Restarts have been wild. One car, a couple of cars actually, in the back of the field. Get a quick update on them. Yeah, so Mark Whitley came down pit road. As we just saw, Scott Gasson now coming down pit road, having to come down because of the fuel, right? They decided to not come down right before stage 1. They earned themselves the stage win and great points for Gasson. They are now back here as well. Drew Drua, not sure what happened here, but man, he is way back. Oh, yellow flag is out. What happened here? Looks like Bednards, maybe. Oh, man, William Robbins. With the back end missing. Actually, that's Basin. Dylan Basin tows it. Oh, man. A couple of guys involved in this one. 5th caution on lap 40. And that actually might be, well, man, Whitley and Gasson just came down pit road. That's unfortunate. But let's go back at that real quick. Try and find out what went down. So Basin maybe get the worst of it here. So 3 wide here, coming out of turn 1, I believe. This is Villalobos on the outside, Basin middle, and then Spencer Burns. Oh, just a, man, kind of ping-ponged off each other. Not really sure what happened there from that angle, but Robbins had nowhere to go. Tried to sneak down low, but just couldn't get it done, man. Tough break for these guys. Robbins can get it back going, so maybe not too bad, but I'll have a lot of damage to fix for sure. So that's where we are. Lap 41, 5th caution of the day. In the chat, good for the 7 and the 77. Yeah, I mean, it can be, right? I mean, now they're going to be, you know, not at risk for going a lap down and whatnot. Now they'll be at the back of the field, but they'll be at least, yeah, they'll be in the mix, which is good. So Bowie, Hagen, Garza, Smecker, and Zelazny, all in the top 5 right now. And look at this, Corey Heim up to P8. Pretty good so far. Blaze Crawford, Christian Angel, Wyatt Tinsley, your pole sitter, still right there in the mix. P9 right now. And here they come. Down pit road we go. Lap 42. So right now, once they all pit, I'm expecting 4 tires and fuel. They can all make it to stage 2, the end of stage 2. So this is pretty key right here. Who can get themselves in the front? Look at this. Mark Whitley, obviously, Scott Gasson, all doing their thing. And this is, you know what? That's what it is. That's the good news about this, is that they already pit, and they stayed on the lead lap. So now Mark Whitley and Scott Gasson are going to find themselves in the exact same spot, but now they have equal tires. I mean, what are we talking about? One or two lap older tires? That's nothing. So that actually might be a miracle for Whitley and Gasson. Good stuff for them so far. Lady Luck hitting them like a ton of bricks. Good stuff. Will Doe on pit road, still kind of in a long stop here. I haven't seen him getting involved in a wreck, so I'm not sure what's going on with that, unless there was maybe a penalty or whatnot. So Emery, we saw, wrecked pretty hard. That didn't bring up the yellow. I'm surprised it didn't, but that was a hard hit. Wish I can go back to that and we can take a better look at it, but we can't, unfortunately, with our current technological advances, but it's all good. Lap 42, going to go back green here at about lap 44, so we'll have about 16 laps to go here to get to the end of stage 2. Choose Rule is underway right now, getting everything lined up for the next restart. This is the nature of the beast, though. I looked back at Michigan last week, right? And, you know, we had, what was it, 12? I think 11 cautions, 12 cautions. And the more I think about it, man, like we have 40 drivers right now on track, right? A lot of, you know, differing talent levels and skill and right. And man, to get 40 people, you know, on in a race, being able to pull off these things are pretty fun and pretty cool. So it's going to happen. We're not professionals. I mean, you know, I guess some of them are in a way, but yeah, it's all good. These races, you have to endure them sometimes and just kind of get through it. But pace car lights are off, so Whitley and Gasson are going to find themselves yet again in a fantastic spot. So they're going to have, again, equal tires, the same amount of fuel, right, to get themselves to stage 2. Slightly worse positioning if the race stays green, but they're at least in position to get really, really good stage 2 points. Obviously, stage 3, you never know what can happen. So, good so far. Top 10 currently: Whitley, Gasson, Garza, Crawford, Smecker, top 5, and then Corey Heim, Hagen, Tinsley, Bowie, and Sharp. Let me look at that. Ryan Sharp all the way back up to P11 after his spin out earlier on. Looks like we're going to delay the caution. Guessing the back of the field perhaps might be a bit... Oh, hold on. Zelazny off track here, or stopped on track. Not sure what's going on here. Zelazny gets it back going. Getting word that Zelazny crashed, but sometimes our system just says that when they stop on track. Let's take a look. Unless he was EOL'd, perhaps. But just kind of pulls over and parks it, which will definitely bring out a caution. So, not sure what that's about, but we'll try and get a word from race control at some point and see if we can find out what's going on there. Here we go. Just kidding. Last time we are going to go back green. This time, by Zelazny had an issue. We're going to find out what happened there with him, but Oh, I guess getting word his car died from saving fuel, so I'm not sure how he was able to let it, or to refire it back up, but all right, that's the word we're getting. So, we're going to be 15 laps to go here until we get to the end of stage 2. Whitley Gasorn, familiar sight right here, leading us back off. Here we go. Green flag is back out. Can we get through the restart? We know they can be treacherous. 2 and 3 and multiple wide as they come down. Big wide arc for these guys. Thomas Meeks right in the middle here of 3 wide. Oh boy, who was that? James Kaufman way off track here. Man, what a great save. Keeps it going. Did the same thing I think that Sharp did earlier on, but kept it going. So far, so good after this lap of green. And Mark Whitley up front right now, leading this race. Man, we're gonna have to start calling that that segment "Bring the Pain," because every single time I feel like we throw that, man, a big wreck happens, and this time it did. Back of the field, man, huge wreck. We saw it happen, but how did it happen is the question. We're gonna go back a ways here. Might be tough to find out how this happened, but we'll take a look. Do know it involved Frankie Barroso, Thurston. Couple guys here. Try and find Thurston here. Yeah, we'll watch him. Happened right in turn 1, so we'll kind of let it play out here. Find out what happened. Man, big wreck. So down into turn 1, Jackson Anderson up high right here. Scott Gasorn pretty well low. Ooh, it's already huge checkup on the outside lane. That is going to definitely be it, I'm guessing. Gasorn's going to go around here into Thurston, into Christian Angel, I believe that is right there on the right side. And then around we go. Not sure where the checkup happened. Frankie Barroso going to get involved here too, maybe. Ah, yeah. Christian Angel, BP looks like involved. Spencer Burns. Austin Halsey gets into the back there. Fleming. So not actually as bad as I expected. What we saw from that Bring the Noise shot looked way worse. But it appears like, for the most part, people got through here relatively decent. I want to go back even further and see where the checkup happened, because, man, that was really pretty wild. Let's go to Brandon Bowie's view. He was pretty close to it. Let's see if we can find out when this happens. Try and get a better angle here. So it happens right in front of him. So Tinsley and Hagen are up front of him. Big checkup there. Corey Heim in front right there. Oh, man. Yeah, so it kind of started with Bowie. I don't really know. Maybe Bowie had to brake real quick to avoid hitting the wall, but that right there definitely caused the issue. But man, yeah, just a checkup. Big accordion effect. A lot of momentum coming out of that first corner, obviously, and these things can happen. So lap 48, 6th caution here in Pocono. So we are cruising along. Already past halfway, so lap 48 right now. Not too bad. This track, hey, it can be a big one. Looking forward to next week, Charlotte. And by the way, for the folks who have not known, right now we're doing in-season tournaments. So this right here is week number 2 of our Dash for Cash race, or in-season tournament, excuse me. What we're doing is basically having a bracket-style system, kind of like a March Madness in a way, where every week the drivers are facing each other. Kind of a head-to-head scenario, right? So one driver on the other driver. So Whitley today is going up against Brandon Bowie. So those guys are basically facing each other, and whoever finishes ahead of the other will advance into the next round. So pretty cool right now. Stage points don't really mean anything for that, but it does mean something for the overall point system. Next week in Charlotte will be a big one. We're going to model that race after the Coke 600, so it's going to be our longest race of the season for sure. Hopefully these boys can keep in their sims for that long. We'll see. It's not going to be super long, but it'll be a little bit longer than what you'll see today. So next week, though, that'll be the culmination of the in-season tournament, the Dash for Cash. So 4 drivers next week will be going for that title. It's kind of like a championship race vibe, right? Where 4 drivers go for that one spot. Whoever finishes ahead of the other 3 is the in-season tournament winner. So cool stuff. We'll do that twice more in the season. Mid-season Madness and the Same State Showdown later on. A lot of fun coming up on race day, ASRA, Harpoon Design Cup Series. And then after Charlotte, we go to Le Mans. Our first road course international race. Going to be a lot of fun. So lap 49 right here. I think, Smucker just popped in and out right there. Some connection issues. Hopefully he stays put. So we're going to go lap 50 for the restart. 10 laps to go here for stage 2. Whitley, Garza, Smucker, Crawford, and Tinsley. Your top 5. Back at it. Green flag is out. Big jump right there from Adam Garza. Great restart right behind Mark Whitley. And now we're 4 wide entering turn 1. Tinsley on the inside lane here. Up against Jackson Anderson. Maybe even to Devin Smucker as well. Decides against it. Really good job so far. Look at this, Corey Heim. Unbelievable job in P3 right now. Let's take a look at him. Corey Heim in P3, trying to track down his teammate for the day, Adam Garza, and then Mark Whitley. He sees that lead in front of him, and I told you earlier, hey, he's looking pretty good hanging out in the back. Right now, though, he is a hungry animal looking to get to the front. Hosky hot lap, absolutely. On board, Corey Heim comes across turn 2. Treacherous turn 2. Those bumps are pretty wild. You get out of that. Right behind you in the rear view, Blaze Crawford. Keeps it in 4th. Nice wide arc right here. Dive down low. Make this straightaway as long as possible. Blaze will get there, but not for long. He's going to get a great jump here. Get that draft off of Adam Garza. upshifts, and off he goes. Man, what a great job here from Corey Heim. Impressive stuff. Ooh, a little bit of a check up there. Tinsley and Bowie get together. Bowie going to try and squeeze around him. Looks like he does for now. Turn 2. Treacherous turn 2. Michael Johnson going to be in the inside here of Jackson Anderson. Didn't quite make that pass. And now Trevor Zelensky. Okay. My bad, Trevor. You're going to watch this later on and be like, dude, what the hell? It's all good. Up front, looking good. 53 laps into this race. Again, stage 2 ends on lap 60. No yellow flag. We're going to keep on going. But man, how about Mark Whitley? Didn't start the greatest. Started P17 on the grid. But then the race kind of just went with him, right? He made the right decisions. He stayed out right before stage 1. Got the stage 1 win. And then right now, basically on equal tires with these leaders. I mean, he is just holding on to it. 7 more laps here until he sweeps the stages. Very, very impressive. Back in the field here, Brandon 6, Frankie Barroso still making their way in. Will Doe in that number 70 car had 3 minutes of damage a second ago, but getting through it really, really well. Devin Srecker having some big connection issues right now. From what we're seeing. Uh-oh, who's that in the front? Oh no, Srecker. Yeah, I mean, we just saw him have some crazy connection issues a little earlier, and then you can't really see it on my view, but he was up and down that view a lot. I'm gonna guess he just blinked himself into Narnia. Let's go back and take a look. That will not be, by the way, the stage end. It's lap 54. We are not within that 5 laps. So let's go back and take a look. I've got a feeling it's going to be exactly what I think. See, right now we can't even click on him because he's not there. I don't know how else to say it. Try to find him. Yeah, see. Can't even see him. Yeah, unfortunately, just... I don't believe he wrecked into or anybody else, you know. I think it just comes down to he was just... Yeah, so you see him right here popping in and out. He might have come across the nose of somebody during his blinking, but then, yeah, you'll see him here just kind of pop in. Unfortunate. Looks like nobody else involved, which is good for sure. But man, tough break for Srecker. Great start to the season, obviously, but hey, sometimes these things, man, connection issues, network issues, they can definitely plague you, and it's not fun. So, luckily, they didn't involve anybody else. As man, that can sometimes happen, right? So, oh no, his wife's in the chat. Smecker's wife here. No idea what happened. Internet just died for no good reason. Oh man, yeah, that's awful, awful. I'm curious to know. I know it's relative now because of what just happened, but I'm curious to know what iRacing will do when they, throw in this new update. I don't know if it came in this update right now or next one, but they're doing like a connection processor, I guess. If iRacing notices that your connection's too bad, they'll basically park you until it works its way out. So maybe could have saved Srecker his car right there if that was rolled out, but unfortunately it has not. So definitely a bummer, but considering what happened, it's hey, nobody else got involved, so that can happen. Lap 56. Back half of the field. Hey, this is smart, right? These guys right here probably have no chance, I would say, at getting a stage or stage points. So come on down, get your fuel, get your tires, set yourself up for a proper stage 3. Definitely a smart idea. These guys, top 10, top 15 maybe, they're going to try and go for that stage win. Big thanks, by the way, to our sponsors here today, especially, man, SimCams, Whiplash SimCams. They do a fantastic job all the time. They help us with all of our camera packs and whatnot, make us look good. Love that. Also, Premier Setup Shops. Check them out, PremierRacingSetups.com. Every race this season will use their setups. And, man, so far it's been pretty good, I gotta say. Been good racing, you know. There comes a point when, hey, you know, 40 drivers on track, that's more than what, you know, real world NASCAR does, right? So it's a lot of people, a lot of drivers, but hey, sometimes a track gets pretty crowded. It's all good though. 7th caution of the day, lap 56. Again, this was not the stage end, so we're gonna work it out. Go green flag here, and then off we go. The chat demands Marshall Harris. I don't know what else to say. They want him to talk about Wild Willies so bad, they're shaking. And honestly, I'm there with him. But he is nowhere to be seen, unfortunately. That can happen. Something came up for our boy Marshall Harris. It's all good. Hey, we'll bring him in next week, maybe. So Whitley, Garza, Tinsley, your pole sitter right there, still up front right now in P3. Corey Heim in 4th place. Blaze Crawford in P5. Man, I'll tell you what a star-studded top 5 this is. Good Lord. Mark Whitley, 2-time ASRA champion here up front. Adam Garza, Tinsley, we know him, hey, Coke driver, active Coke Series driver. Corey Heim, real-life driver. Soon-to-be NASCAR superstar. Blaze Crawford, current Coke Series driver. Good to see. Hey, put him up against ASRA's best. That's what we're doing today in Pocono. So good to see right now. Mark Whitley going to be leading us off. And again, lap 60 will be, the beginning of lap 60 will be the stage end. We don't throw a caution for it. We'll stay green. But if a yellow comes out before lap 60, that will be considered the stage end. So Whitley here going to try and go 2 for 2 for the stages, along with the rest of the field. A couple of highlights here too. Nick Silver, Jackson Anderson doing great. Will Doe in P9. A couple of guys up in the front here after dealing with some, you know, earlier incidents and penalties and whatnot. So man, really impressive to see a lot of these guys fighting back. Races are long enough to do it. And here we go though. Mark Whitley up front. Leads us back off here. Ooh, big stack up. On the outside lane. Corey Heim going to try and squeeze John Hagan. Everyone's desperate for those stage points. Can we hold on to it? You don't want to wreck that car, but you want to be aggressive. So far, so good. Whitley leads him off on the long pond straight. Down into turn 2. Adam Garza found the room here on the inside lane. Can he hold on to it? The outside lane's kind of preferred here in turn 3. Whitley might get a better exit. Not going to be enough, though. Adam Garza clears Whitley. Wyatt Tinsley right there, too, on the inside lane. Going to try and go around him. Corey Heim, what does he do? Gets a push there from Blaze Crawford. Blaze going to try and sneak low. Might use him up here a little bit. No, sir. Keeps it going. Garza going to try and snake his way around. Break that draft if he can. Next time by across the stripe. That is the stage. Everyone fighting for those stage points. Adam Garza might have it locked up. Tinsley gonna try and dive down low here, sends it into turn 3. Good effort. No one's gonna catch Adam Garza though. Garza will win stage number 2. But we keep it green. No yellow. Stage 2 win goes to Adam Garza. Good stuff. Oh man, hard hit for Jackson Anderson. Good Lord. Hit the wall out of turn 1 really hard. Should be okay though. Might get past here on the inside with Nick Silver. Keeps it going though, down low. Able to turn that car still. You gotta be careful. If you hit the wall hard enough like that, you can bend the toe link for sure on that right front. Definitely a sensitive spot on these cars. Rest of the field holding on to it right now. Lap 60, 30 laps to go here in the Wild Willies 220. Brandon Bowie trying to push his teammates here. Looks like a BP. Brandon 6. This race has not gone as well as they wanted it to for Bowie Esports. They are definitely trying to make something of it. John Hagan, ooh, little loose right there. In turn 1 up against Nick Silver. Gonna drop some spots here. In the nationwide, number 81 sneaks up high in front of Zelazny. Makes it work. Bunch of jockeying for position back here as well. Joseph Mealy, I gotta say, that car looks pretty clean considering the damage he had earlier on. Look at that car. W3i software looking pretty good on the hood. Earlier on though, it was iffy. But man, up and getting going now again. Good to see. Scott Gasorn has gotten stage points already, so that's good for him. Didn't quite get him in stage 2, but working his way through. Daryl Young, Kenny Reel. A couple of drivers having issues earlier on in the race. Daryl Young kind of got loose off of an earlier stage 1 restart. Kept it going though. Halsey and Ryan Sharp have had their up and down days so far. Robbins too, by the way. Look at this. Robbins is on track. Had a nasty hit out of turn 1 in stage 2, but looking pretty good. Able to get back going a lap down, but a couple more cautions. He can fight his way back to the front in no time. Looking really good for a lot of these guys. A couple of flagship drivers here. Thomas Meeks, Matthew Fleming. Enduring is sometimes the case, right? These races are long. And when you're able to get through it, right? Fix the damage early. Get yourself back into the race. And these boys are doing just that. Everyone's fighting for every spot they can right now. But again, 63 laps into this race. Fuel can go about 27, 28 maybe. So at some point, when will fuel come into play? At this point, we're kind of in that window. If anybody, well really, if a yellow comes out, we're good. You'll see everyone come down pit road, get the fuel, get the tires, and they'll be good to go for the end of the race. Green, white, checkers, you never know, right? But that will be for sure. Adam Garza still putting on a masterclass right now in front of Tinsley and Corey Heim. Man, how big would it be if Garza can get his first win of the season right here in Pocono? Wyatt Tinsley comes in and steals one. Corey Heim comes in and steals one. Hey, you never know. We've had a good amount of subs in this series win races in the past. One that comes to mind, actually, James Thurston right here. Right now, full-time for Murphy Esports in the number 6. But, hey, last season, subbed in for Kenny Reel when he needed it at Long Beach. Ended up winning the race. So, we've seen it before. Nick Silver, actually, subbed in last year for a couple of Bowie Esport drivers. Was not full-time last season and won a race. It can happen. Right now, underneath partly cloudy conditions, you can see how long this straightaway is. The turn 3 is under clouds and turn 1 is bright and sunny. And that's part of it. Let's try it again, folks. Let's go. Bring the Noise, sponsored by Harpoon Design. Love that. Able to sneak it in. Bring the noise. Sponsored by Harpoon Design. Man, go and check them out. harpoondesign.com. There it is. Get your paint scheme. Hey, new ARCA cars just dropped in the sim. I don't know if he's willing to do those, but hey, that might be a good spot to start. Back at the field right now, Brandon 6, Spencer Burns fighting right here. Burns having a fantastic Michigan debut last week, and Brandon 6 again had the EOL to start this race from an incident last week that he caused. Right now, already up to P10. Up and down day for sure. Look at this. One taker, Brandon Bowie. We've known Bowie to take some different decisions. And he come, oh my word, unbelievable. Oh no. Brandon 6 spins out, I think, right here. Don't think he has any damage. But yellow flag comes out. Man, Brandon Bowie just came down pit road. This is an absolute... oh my... See, you talk about miracle. Bowie will get to come down here, take his tires and fuel, and guess what? He'll be in the front of the front of the pack, because you know everyone's going to come down pit road here in just a second. So, hey, good luck charm has hit Mark Whitley and Scott Casoren today, and now it's apparently Brandon Bowie's turn. So good stuff there. Let's go back and take a look at what happened to 6 here. I know he was up against, I believe it was Spencer Burns. Yeah, and he was just fighting along him right here. Not sure. Okay, so entering turn, this is 3. Okay, we're a bit early here. Little bang. Ooh. Okay. Tight, tight, tight. Uh-oh. Oh, yeah, man, yeah. I don't think Hagen knew he... Well, really, it wasn't really Hagen. I think it was Spencer. I don't think Spencer knew he was 3 with Hagen right there. That's a tough one. John Hagen had the run, put them 3 wide, and I think Spencer tried to maybe side draft or tried to maybe move away from 6, but then Hagen was there, and around we go. So, man, Brandon Bowie absolutely stole that one right there. If assuming everyone comes down right now, which I think they will. So, man, gifted, absolutely gifted that one. It was the perfect call in the chat. Absolutely. You just never know when cautions are going to hit, right? In a track like this, you know, I think if you think the race is going to go green the entire time, I think, you know, Bowie makes a great move there, right? Because you're out early, you've got fresh tires, you can really, you know, create a gap over that 22 laps remaining. So this case, though, man, did it work out? Everyone comes down pit road like we expected. Everyone needs the tires, needs the fuel, and right now, the fuel they'll get here, they can definitely stay out for at least a couple green and white checkers. Again, we only get 3 of them, so we'll find out what exactly they can do. But look at this pit road, how full it is. What a great shot. 40 drivers in this series. Always, I don't know, man. I gotta pinch myself sometimes how lucky we are to have a crew like this and a series on fire like we are. It's very, very cool. Cannot be done without the people who make it happen. Obviously, the drivers, the teams, sponsors, right? Very fun. Once in a while, though, hey, you kind of just see it in action, and man, it just comes. It's pretty cool, right? So Mark Whitley up front, trying his, he's doing his thing, right? Mark Whitley doing Mark Whitley things. Hey, it's worked for him all race long. I don't know. I think he can make it. Actually, no, I don't think he can make it on fuel. So I don't know. I'm not really sure what this is, but it's worked for him so far. We'll see what can happen next time. Joseph Mealy in P2. good. Hey, you know, I think I like this a lot too, because even if it doesn't work out, maybe in the long run, you keep yourself out front to avoid the mess in the back, right? Which I think is big. 21 laps to go. About 19 maybe once we get going here. It could get pretty radical. Being told by insider information, aka the chat, that Whitley is good to go on fuel. So, okay. Pitted a few laps ago. All right. I mean, it has literally worked out picture perfect for our two-time champions, Mark Whitley and Brandon Bowie, going to be leading the front row. And this is a good example of, I mean, me personally, this is why I'd rather be lucky than good, because in a case like, hey, being good helps, right? And hey, we know Whitley and Bowie are definitely good, if not elite. And man, sometimes you just need a race to go your way like this. And this is big, right? Whitley obviously on an alternate strategy the entire race, and man, cautions just kind of line up perfectly for him. Sometimes it takes just that, right? Brandon Bowie on the outside, man, he pit right there at the absolute perfect time before that yellow came out. So he's up front now too. We know how fast he is. So let's see. Let's see what the ASRA two-time champions of Whitley and Bowie can do here on this restart. 19 laps to go at the line. It's going to get crazy. I'm expecting some restarts to be pretty wild, or this one maybe. Will we get a yellow? My money's on yes at some point before the end of this race, but hey, either way, a wild ride here in Pocono. Fast guys behind him. Michael Johnson right there too. Wyatt Tinsley, your pole sitter. Not too far back. John Hagan, Frankie Barroso climbing his way back to the front too in P7. A couple of guys to look out for. So here we go. Whitley and Bowie in the front. 19 laps to go here for the Wild Willies. 2:20. Turn one so far has been the Achilles heel of the race. Can we get through it? We know how treacherous it can be, and right now it looks like we are good to go. Long pond straight away. And getting it going right here. Front of the pack, 3 wide here, a little bit further on. Christian Angel, I believe that is, was 3 wide up against Nick Silver. Keeps it going straight. Good stuff. Tinsley on the outside lane trying to maybe make a move here. We're seeing a lot of these guys choose a really wide arc out of turn 3. Big push here from Thurston up against Frankie Barroso. Trying to get him through the field. Use that draft. Things getting kind of dicey, obviously. Drivers need to get themselves to the front. But again, what's key about this season too that I feel like that we don't talk about as much, and I think we'll definitely talk about it as the season progresses, is the way the playoffs are formatted. It all comes down to consistency, right? The entire season. Wins do not guarantee you a spot in the playoffs. So really, it comes down to consistency. So really, you don't want to necessarily make that move to send it in, right? To maybe get yourself to the front and get a win. You don't need to do that. What you need to do is build consistency. So if you're a 6th place car, don't try and drive it like you're going to get to the front, right? Or to that P1 spot, because you might not. So maybe that'll lower the aggression a little bit. We'll see. Either way, up front, Mark Whitley leading this race. Brandon Bowie in P2. Joseph Mealy, man, how about this recovery for Joseph Mealy? Looking so good. P3. This is the magic of clean air, right? Up front, clean air. Mealy, a fast driver. Again, I put him in that category. I talk about it all the time. He's a guy who can win a race, but he just needs that specific specific situation to make it happen. Corey Heim right here as well on the outside. Kind of did a crossover there. And on the outside groove up against Adam Garza. Huge run here for Frankie Barroso. Garza going to sneak up in front. A couple of guys coming down pit road right there. I think I just saw. Who was that? Spencer Burns taking the drive-through lane. Not sure if we're just doing this for funsies or not. Hold on to it. We see everything up in the booth. Yeah, we don't like that. We do not like that. Just gonna let race control know of that one real quick. That does not impress me at all. So, Mark Whitley up in the front right here. P1, Mealy, Crawford, Bowie, Johnson. All back here. I catch everything, folks. When I see that stuff, that gets me going. I know you're in the back of the field, but that'll be a quick ticket out of the yeah. So Whitley up front. Crawford snuck his way past Mealy and a couple in Bowie right here. Looks like Bowie, though, maybe saving some tires. Can't quite tell. We know he's fast. We saw him get to the front earlier on, so I think maybe just waiting for those tires to come to grips here. No pun intended. But 14 to go. We know everyone at this point in the front of the field can make it on fuel. So is that the case? Thomas George making a good run here. P14. He's had a rough time so far. Ooh, maybe a little contact there with Christian Angel. Man, good stuff right here. Everyone racing for their spots, right? And one of the things that, I mean, I've always preached to a lot of people is, and really, oh man, hold on, Bowie and Garza up at the front here, just caught the tail end of that, really close together. Bowie gonna get pushed here from Corey Heim, maybe get snuck past right here. Looks like he will be. Bowie definitely falling back here. I'm not sure if this is by design or if he's in trouble, but man, not looking too good there. Up front, Crawford trying to catch up to the draft of Mark Whitley. Mealy as well on the inside lane. Tinsley, your pole sitter, trying to make a way through on the outside. Look at that, Michael Johnson too. Haven't talked much about MJ today, but man, last year he was an absolute consistency demon. He was so good. Didn't win that race and still hasn't won that race yet to, man, get himself in that column, the win column for this series. But, oh man, Mealy and Hagen adoring each other out of turn two. Tough spot to be in. Still too wide. 12 laps to go here. Doing what they can. But like I was saying, right, if you're a 15th place car, you know, hey, a top 10's a win for you, right? That's kind of the mentality I have when I race myself. It's so hard to do that in a live setting. But man, if you can go into that race with that mentality, you'll be a lot better. Mark Whitley still trying to break that draft if he can. He's going to have help here. Oh, maybe not. Gonna get super close. Oh, Blaze! Might have given him a bumper there. Saw the back end kick out of that Crawford machine. How big would this be for Mark Whitley to get himself back in the win column? I was just talking to him before the race and kind of just talked about, man, like, you know, he's not the biggest fan of this car and not the biggest fan of, like, you know, like what, you know, like what's been done to it, right? But today, everything has gone right for him. If it's a win, that would be huge. A top 3, a top 5, man, that would kickstart his season. Definitely gain that confidence in him for sure. So really, really good stuff right now. Couple of drivers, Michael Johnson there too. I've got a feeling though, Blaze Crawford's using up a lot more tire here than who's around him. Got to be careful about that. I really feel like, look at Michael Johnson, look at Wyatt Tinsley. I think these guys probably have something left in the tank for sure. 10 laps to go, obviously a little bit ways to go. But I think in a couple laps, we're going to start seeing Crawford's machine here probably start to fade out. We'll see. Ooh, big crossover here. Gonna get a run. Blaze sends it. Sends it too much, maybe. Can Whitley hold on to it? Oof. Tough right there. I don't know if Blaze tried to shove it down low, but it did not work. And now Crawford's gonna go fall back a little bit here. Michael Johnson on the inside lane. Not gonna be enough. Crawford not playing nice here. But hey, a win's a win. You gotta go for him. 9 laps to go. A bunch of drivers here in the back of the field. Wow, Fleming up to P12, 17 spots up from where he started, man. That is fantastic. Jackson Anderson up 19 spots now as Michael Johnson fades back quite a bit here. Getting freight trained just a little bit. And Mark Whitley back to the front. Clean air is king here with 8 laps to go. Corey Heim up to P6. I'll tell you what a good job. Michael Johnson falling back a little bit still. Gonna fall back to his teammate though, so this could be a good thing here for MJ. Brandon Bowie in the 54 right behind him. Adam Garza won stage 2, but couldn't really get through this field right now, it looks like. Thurston the same. It's tough. Tough to pass, tough to get through it all. 8 laps to go. Man, oh man, Blaze just sent it right there. Into turn 1, got the lead. But look at this run that Whitley has. Not going to get there just yet. Blaze made a bold move to make it happen. Oh no! Hagen! Uh-oh! Jackson got punted there almost. Gonna get sent back a little bit, perhaps. Not, man, he's trying. Can't quite do it. Big shuffle there, Hagen. Dives to the front of Corey Heim. Wyatt Tinsley gonna try and get there too. Who's been holding on to their tires? 6 laps is a long time to go. Blaze Crawford made the move around Mark Whitley. But who can get the job done here? Can Tinsley make his mark and move up? John Hagen too, he's right there. Brandon Bowie's sneaking his way past through again. He was fading back for a bit. Now I think he's got the tires to maybe pull it off. Adam Garza not too far back either. We've seen how fast these guys are. Blaze Crawford kind of checking out here with 5 laps to go. has a good gap. Comes down to tires, right? Tires handling. You can see the front end of that Whitley machine starting to slide around. They are wheeling it as much as they can. Crawford up front. Tinsley to the high line. In P4, Corey Heim in 5th spot. What an amazing job for Corey Heim today. If he can walk out here with a P5. But we are 5 laps to go here. Ooh, Anderson kind of slid out of turn 3 right there, man. Crazy. Oh, who is that in the back? Thomas George and Christian Angel. I don't know if that was some dirty racing or whatnot, but they were side by side. I don't know if George pushed him all the way down to the low line, but oof. Whitley still in P2. Hagan has worked his way up to P3 now. I mean, oh God, Hagan. Yeah. Hard hit. Tries to go nice and wide here. This is a good move to try. Oh, Whitley! Jeez. Saves it. Awesome job by Whitley to save that car. I know he was not loving the handling of that car a couple laps ago. You could tell. Front end was sliding out big time, but he is right now going to fall back here. Looks like maybe to P4-5, so that might be it for Whitley. But man, what a great race to gain some confidence. But man, Blaze Crawford missed a couple of these first few races. Obviously, Blaze Crawford, a Coke Series level talent in the Coke Series right now, along with Wyatt Tinsley subbing in for Max Brady here in that 17. So hey, are we going to see some Coke Series drivers maybe winning this race, or will we see an ASRA regular sneak it out? John Hagan gets around here. Corey Heim in tow. They have that draft, but can it be enough to get to Blaze Crawford's back end? 2 to go. Up front, Blaze Crawford has done a great job today. Hasn't really been in that top spot. He's been in the top 5, kind of hovered around it, but finally able to kind of break through, get himself in that top spot. I think Hagan's got something though. They have closed that gap, and it's 2 to go. Lap and a half to go here is a long time. John Hagan might have the tires to do it. Super wide arc here. White flag is about to come out. The Wild Willies 220 and the Starch Industries 1 to go is here. John Hagan, oh my God, tried to make a move there, couldn't do it. Corey Heim, can it be Heim time today in Pocono? Gonna get a good run here, maybe out of the turn 1. Hits the wall a little bit, has the run. John Hagan gonna side draft the hell out of him. Crawford still has that preferred lane, dives it in to the inside. Hagan gonna try and make a move here, does not do it. Maybe he does. Does he have the room? He does. What does Corey Heim do? Do we go 3 wide here? Absolute chaos at Pocono. Turn 3, Hagan makes a slide. Not gonna make it happen here. Who's gonna get it? Corey Heim. Blaze Crawford, not enough. John Hagan will win the Wild Willies 220 from Pocono. One of the absolute best finishes we have ever seen from the ASRA Cup Series comes down to the line here. John Hagan, unbelievable. Oh, man. I am out of breath. That was an incredible finish from John Hagen. We thought, man, I thought he was just nowhere. He was all over the place, super, super aggressive. And man, to get the job done here today, absolutely crazy from John Hagen. Got the job done. P2 is Corey Heim. In third spot is Blaze Crawford. Jackson Anderson rolls off P4. Adam Garza 5th. Mark Whitley salvages a P6. Great job there. Wyatt Tinsley 7th. Brandon Bowie 8th place. Michael Johnson P9. James Thurston in P10. The Anderson to Lasney Racing driver notches AZR's first win as a team. What an incredible job. I'm out of breath. I'll tell you what, though, we're going to go talk to some sponsors real fast and go and thank them. We'll come right back. And, man, we'll talk to your top 3. Stick around.
Fancy like Husky, fancy like Husky, fancy like Husky, fancy like Doggy bowl empty, Lakers pool sleeping, rug pull, cash grab, NFTs delight, rug pull, cash grab, idiot.
Welcome back, folks, to the conclusion of the Wild Willies 220 here from Pocono. Man, unbelievable finish here today. Man, John Hagen gets the job done. We're going to bring in the top 3, as we usually do. We'll bring in Blaze Crawford first. Go 3, 2, 1 like we normally do. Let's try and sneak in Blaze real quick. Where is our boy? Blaze Crawford. Is he? Uh-oh. Is he around? Don't see him just yet. Blaze, 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 Blaze. Aha! Here he is. There he is. Whoops, had to undeafen. There he is, Blaze Crawford, man. Hey, what a hell of a finish today. P3, man, you were right there at the end. It got pretty wild, pretty aggressive, and pretty quick. But, man, battling Corey Heim, battling John Hagen, man. Hey, third, not too bad. How you feeling, dude?
Yeah, I'm just mad. I should have won and gave it up on the last lap. So, yeah, that's that kind of sums it up. Just mad at myself and made the wrong move there at the end.
So you think it was on you, or did? Okay, yeah. Like what do you think you could have done better at the end?
Well, down out of turn 1 and down into turn 2, I kind of tried to just keep Corey and Hagen side by side so that I could just go into turn 2 and just go into the tunnel turn and drive away. But I allowed John Hagen the opportunity to make a move and run through me to win the race. So, as anyone would do for a win, he ran through me and got it done. So, I mean, I should have just been far enough away from him and ran away with it, but I just made the wrong judgment call.
Definitely a tough race, man. But hey, at the end of the day, top 3, not too bad. The car looks good. Talk to us real quick about your sponsors, man, friends and family. What you got for us?
Yeah, shout out to Flag Motors having me back for another season. Appreciate them. It's always fun running with these guys. They give me a fun opportunity to do this on weeks where I don't have Coke races. So overall, still enjoyed my time, and it's fun racing with Corey again. I grew up racing legend cars and Mandalayers with him, so it's pretty fitting for us to finish side by side at the line. But yeah, big thanks to Matt Fleming and all the guys. Texas OEM Wheels for being on the side today for this Tuesday's edition of How Can I Lose This Race? So, and then shout out to Max Brady at the casino working that 8 to 4, getting it done,
Oof.
get some money. Wyatt Tinsley coming in as a good sub, helping me out there. So appreciate that, and shout out to the big 17.
Yes, sir, man. Good stuff. Hey, we'll see you next time, dude. Next week, the week after, I don't know, but we'll see you, man. Always looking forward to it.
Absolutely appreciate you, Steve.
There he is, man. And look at this finish, by the way. We're going to clear it off. Look at this finish. We'll bring in Corey Heim in just a second, but look at how this race finishes off. You saw it. Yeah, John Hagen just kind of snuck it through. And that's it right there. At the line, Hagen, Heim, and Crawford. Unbelievable finish here. We'll bring in Corey Heim next. Here he is, the man finishing P2 today in that Stint 62 Murphy Esport machine. Man, Corey, definitely a better turnout and a better race than your first attempt here in ASRA. And today got the job done. Man, you were so damn close to getting that win. That would have been electric. But a P2, you can't be upset.
Yeah, no doubt. Huge thank you to Murphy Esports and Stint 62 to have me on today. Had a lot of fun, and as you mentioned, definitely a better result than last year when I came and attempted the race. I don't even think I made it past like 30 laps, but no, it seemed like I was a little off on like raw pace, but evidently that didn't matter too much because it was more of a drafting race than I really expected it to be. So yeah, it seemed like a lot of guys would kind of take the bait there late in the race with all the pushes and kind of dive to the bottom and try to slide up and get the track position, in a single corner rather than just trying to stick it out on the outside. So I took more of the patient approach and just kind of clicked them off one by one, knowing that I'm probably not faster on raw pace than most of these guys. Kind of took me the whole race to figure it out, but I think patience kind of paid off there, and had a shot at it at the end, and that's all I can really ask for. So once again, just huge thank you to Murphy Esports. Had a lot of fun in my Stint 62 Camry, and hope to be back soon.
Yes, sir, man. Awesome to see. Always to have you. Awesome to have you as always. And real quick, while I have you, just to kind of like talk about like the fans real quick, and just kind of like the real world, versus the sim. Obviously, it's different, real world versus sim. But like, just talk to the fans real quick, like if you can. Just like, is it similar? Is it close? Like, do you use this as maybe a tool to get ready for a Sunday or a Saturday? Like, what are your thoughts on that?
It's interesting. Like, as far as this track goes, I mean, definitely a lot of differences. You get pretty separated in real life at Pocono, a lot more off throttle time and not as much like draft effect. But, there is some tracks that I really rely on a lot. And I really feel like I benefit from just kind of getting in the rhythm of using the sequential shifter. I kind of have it lined up just like I would when I do run cup races, and same thing like saving fuel, stuff like that. It's some stuff that we don't get to do, in the simulator, at TRD and whatnot, that you kind of get that real world effect, as far as saving fuel and like how it actually affects you and whatnot. So it's a really good tool as far as that kind of stuff goes. Of course, as you mentioned, there's some differences, but I really enjoy the reps. I try to keep it for me as realistic as possible. I know some guys have like switches on their steering wheels for ignition and clutch. Like I think that's great and all, and it obviously improves in performance. But for me, like I come on here to get better, and I think that's kind of the way I want to do it. So to answer your question, I definitely think it helps in some ways that people probably wouldn't expect, and also some that I guess they would expect as well.
Love that, man. Thank you so much for the interaction. Hey, good job next time, man. I know you're coming back for 2 more races, I believe. So we'll see you then, dude. Have a good night.
That's right. Yeah. Appreciate you guys having me. Thank you.
There he is, the man, Corey Heim. on, man, just how this sim can work in the reality as well. But hey, P2, a damn good finish. Almost snuck out and won the damn thing too. So good stuff. We're gonna bring in the man right now, John Hagan, the winner of today's race. I'll tell you what, he's gonna be pumped up. I raced with him on a separate league on Sunday nights, and I'll tell you what, he is gonna be just ecstatic. Maybe not. We'll see. John Hagan, here he is, able to sneak out the win today at the end of Pocono, man. Hey, the Wild Willies 220, the winner, man. Hey, how you feeling, dude? That was a wild last 5 laps.
I've been like shock and awe that I pulled that off. I'm not gonna lie. I I took 2 tires on that last caution because I only had 10 or 12 laps on my lefts.
Yeah.
It was a gamble for some track position, and needless to say, it worked out. Yeah, no, it was. I was getting really pissed off. I think I fell back to 7th or 8th.
Yeah.
It's like 10 or 12 to go, and I had the bright idea to run the fence in 3 and 4, and all of a sudden the world opened up, and picked them off one by one. Somehow, I don't know. I was driving the piss out of that thing the entire time. I threw my you-know-what on the dash.
Yeah.
Just getting up there. There was all of it was out there. None of it was reserved.
Yeah.
There.
And hey, so I mean, like watching, right now we're live watching the last lap. I mean, Blaze mentioned in his interview that, he kind of like let you sneak on this inside. Did you, on this last lap, did you think you were going to be aggressive here? Did you want to be aggressive? Did you just want to say, like, what was your mentality kind of going into this last lap?
I had the run on Blaze coming out of 3, coming to the white flag. And I really wanted him to bite just enough that I could dip right and get to his right rear going into 1. And instead of that, I put myself in the fence. He played that perfect. I'm like super distracted going into 1, and all of a sudden I'm clear again into 1v1 him behind. Like I'm behind him coming out of 1. I get into 2, and I didn't really think I sent it in that hard. I kind of backed it up, trying to drive it up off the corner, and I still ended up into his bumper. And so I moved him, drove it sideways out of there, and shout out Corey. He gave me that shove right there. That was great. I definitely would not have won without that. Whoever he picked is whoever won. He could have tried to send it in 3 right there too. That would have been cool to see too. But once I got there, it was send it in deep enough to get clear and park it in front of whoever's on the outside, make him push me.
Definitely did, man. Hey, a good win, obviously, and hey, that's a huge win. Second win, obviously, in your ASRA career. So a good start to the season, obviously, winning some just points, right? And obviously advancing too in the Dash for Cash in-season tournament. So cool to see, man. Hey, give us a quick shout out, dude, to your friends and family, sponsors maybe that you're watching or that are watching. What you got?
Shout out AZR, Trevor and Jackson for trusting me enough to put me in the car. Then my other teammates, Dylan, Josh Sobel, Drew. Yeah, right? That's it? Yeah. Dylan, Josh. Or I don't know what I'm saying. I'm sorry. I'm so cooked right now after that restart or the race. But shout out them, everybody at AZR. Shout out Blaze for the push at the line. Shout out my wonderful family back home. They were watching the broadcast, a whole bunch of them, and they were blowing up my phone after I won that. So shout out to all of y'all. Great.
Yeah, man, definitely good stuff. Arguably one of our best finishes that we've ever had in ASRA. I think back to Las Vegas a couple seasons back too as well. And man, awesome time. We'll see you next week, dude. Charlotte, gonna be a fun one. We'll see you then. Go and celebrate.
Lungs out, coming to the checker flag, and still loving me. All right, I'm out of here.
All right, I don't know if his mic was fried there at the end, but hey, John Hagan, winner of today's Wild Willies 220. Man, awesome race. Always fun to be here with everyone. Good to see. Folks, that is it. Wild Willies 220. Hell of a finish, hell of a day. Right there, you'll see the drivers and the finishing order. Next week, we have Charlotte Motor Speedway. Going to be a lot of fun. Right there, it'll be based off the Coke 600, so it'll be a longer race than what you saw today by a little bit, and it'll be pretty good. So join us next week, next Tuesday at 9 p.m. Eastern Time for some more action. And man, at the end of the conclusion of the Dash for Cash tournament race, we'll have that all involved there too. So have a good night, folks. Stay safe, and we love you.